And good morning, everybody. Welcome, Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. It is game day for me. I don't know about anybody else. In Indiana or Oregon, they're going to have their hands full with a Miami team who was impressive yesterday. Although, as an Indiana grad, I will tell you, I don't think there's a team I'd rather play than Miami for this reason. They are undisciplined.
Yeah.
And Indiana is one of the most disciplined teams in football. It doesn't mean they will beat Oregon, but this is setting up, no matter which team wins, the Hoosiers or the Ducks, to be a tremendous national championship game.
Yeah, that's an interesting point right out of the gate. That is true. Miami really they played great defense. Beck is playing well.
Yeah.
They were totally clutch with 3 third-down conversions in that last drive in what was an absolutely incredible football game to watch.
Yep.
4 lead changes in the fourth quarter, 3 of them in the last 7 minutes or whatever it was. I don't have the exact timing in front of me, but I was pulling for Mississippi just to get another stick it to Lane Kiffin kind of moment. But you know what? And I think that they did get hosed on the last play. I think you could have very easily, probably should have called a holding or a pass interference call, whichever would have, I think both of them probably would have fit. Remember, it's not a spot foul in the college game. It's a 15-yard foul in the college game. But anyway, it was just a fantastic football game. And I can only imagine that because I watched all of the Indiana-Oregon game that earlier in the season, it was a great game, more because of the awakening to Indiana than anything else. So now we're going to see these two in a high-stakes showdown that I think is promising to be just incredible. And I'm with you. Whatever the national championship game ends up being, the CFP is good this year. It's been pretty good this year. While I've been critical about the CFP and the types of games that we have gotten in the past, this year has lived up to expectations.
Want to tell you about Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos up in Blackhawk. They have another great promotion, and I've been talking about this for a while, and the time is now. It is this weekend. They are giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash this upcoming weekend. Daily cash drawings every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked up jackpot or by redeeming players' points with their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose lots, great promotions, great food, a family-owned casino that treats you like family. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
All right, before we dive into Wild Card Weekend, Vance Joseph is interviewing with 6 teams. Quarterback coach Davis Webb is interviewing with 3 teams. Special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi is interviewing with the Giants for the head coaching job, and we'll get into Jim Leonard, the secondary coach, in just a matter of minutes. So of the 3 guys talking about Joseph, Webb, and Rizzi, which guys do you think will be back next season, and which guys do you think will be gone?
I think Vance Joseph has a real chance to be gone. There's Miami opens up again, or opens yesterday as well. There's a lot of opportunity there. I think Vance is highly respected, former head coach. And I think that he is he's in a really good situation right now. Now, I got to look around and reacquaint myself with who's looking for defense, who's looking for offense, because I think that is a real thing. I think Davis Webb is probably another year or 2 away. But I think it's fantastic for him to go through this cycle. And remember, as a quarterback's coach, there's a very good possibility that he's actually being vetted more for offensive coordinator than he is for head coach. And so there's a possibility that he could leave in that regard, because you can't, if you're the Broncos, you can't keep a coach from being able to take to progress up the coaching ranks. Darren Rizzi, I think, will be back.
Yes. With that, I agree with you that Davis Webb is going to be heavily considered to be an offensive coordinator. That, in theory, is the next step. Okay. For Vance Joseph, I am starting to think he may not get a head coaching job.
He may not. And again, and here's the key thing with Vance. And we've talked with him frequently about this, and I have every reason to believe that his situation is very simply, you know what? First of all, I've got to get the offer. Second of all, it's got to be the right offer, because I've got a great situation, and I don't think that he is in a situation where he feels he needs to take the first thing that comes down the pike. So I do think that he will be very selective about an opening. But if you're going to ask me which one of those do I think has the best chance to become a head coach, it would be Vance Joseph, even though I'm not convinced that he will be in this cycle just like he wasn't in last year's cycle.
Sean Payton's in a very interesting situation right now. So Jim Leonard is going to be interviewing for the defensive coordinator position with the Dallas Cowboys. Vance is the DC right now. Leonard appears to be the defensive coordinator in waiting. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is very fair to say.
And how far the Broncos go, I think, might determine where some of these guys eventually end up.
Yeah.
Because if the Broncos make it all the way to the Super Bowl, if they do, a lot of jobs are going to be filled. So in theory, the only way Leonard moves up in the Broncos organization is if Vance leaves the organization, right?
Right.
Now, if you are Sean Payton, with Davis Webb being the hot commodity right now, probably though a year away, do you keep Joe Lombardi and move up Davis Webb?
Sean has.
And then flip it around to the defensive side, right? Are you going to let Leonard, he is going to interview with the Cowboys. If he leaves, who's next, considering he's probably the guy in waiting if Vance leaves?
Yeah, that guy might not be on staff right now. It may not be. I don't think Joe Lombardi goes. I just.
And you know what?
That's not Sean's MO.
Well, here's the other thing. Davis Webb will likely be here for one season. And then Joe Lombardi has been let go. So what do you do? I think I'd rather have Davis Webb as my guy. And, you know, he called plays in the preseason, and apparently that reportedly went very, very well. So
yeah, but he wouldn't call plays here. And so Davis Webb's next step is calling plays, probably. And he's not going to call plays in Denver because Sean Payton calls plays here. So you're an offensive coordinator, and yeah, you've got a lot of input into what you're doing. You do get input during the course of the game. You suggest, so there would be, he would have the title, but he wouldn't have the function of a traditional offensive coordinator. And I think that that's probably what Davis's next step is, to actually call games in the National Football League. So, and I don't know where he is at this particular point. I know where I would be, just about ready to turn 31, with a very good understanding that you have value right now. But I don't know where his level of patience is, because he's another one that probably can have his pick of things if the if a year or 2 years down the road, he's not a guy that just has to jump at the next thing. Having said that, calling plays in the NFL is his next step. And if he's excited about that, then you do take that chance, right? I mean, right. I think.
I mean, you could make the case, and I brought this up just a minute ago, but let's drill a little deeper on this. If you want to keep Davis Webb, if you want to keep Jim Leonard specifically, if you want to keep Vance Joseph, there's a better chance if you keep winning, period. Because how many jobs do you think are going to be filled by the Super Bowl? A lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course that can't be Sean or VJ's or Davis's or Jim Leonard's concern or Darren Rizzi's concern. They've got a job to do right now. So that will play out as it plays out. So
and oh, by the way, it wouldn't surprise me for one hot minute if Vance does get a head coaching job. Who do you think he might want to be his offensive coordinator?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a very real connect the dots. No question about it.
Right.
Yeah, I would. In fact, I would bet on that. And look.
And oh, by the way, what about Jim Leonard as the defensive coordinator for Vance Joseph? All three could go to one spot.
Yeah.
Vance is a very likable guy. Sean Payton is far more difficult to deal with, despite his success. Would you rather coach under Vance or coach under Sean Payton? The success and the track record is there for Sean. I get it.
If you're talking about, I'll go with demonstrated ability. I mean, I'll go with Sean on that one. I don't know. I haven't been behind closed doors with Sean Payton, but I kind of like Sean. I like the way that he goes about his business.
He's not an easy guy to work for. And that has been demonstrated ability throughout his career.
Yeah.
While I think that the guys who have coached under Sean respect him, he's not the easiest guy to work with either. Vance, to me, would be the easiest guy to work with. He's just an easy guy to be around.
Well, I know one thing.
And there's no ego either.
Right. Well, yeah. And Sean is very consistent about wanting his guys to get the next opportunity. It's not like Sean probably doesn't have a Rolodex. Do we have Rolodexes anymore? Is there such a thing as a Rolodex?
I do. Actually, I have one in my office. I can show it to you. Yeah. It's loaded with phone numbers. Would you like me to read some off for you?
No, because I don't care anymore. Now, there was a time I probably could have used your Rolodex. But that's something you never ask people. It's like, I keep waiting for young people around here to ask for my contacts.
Yeah. Oh, you don't give away your contacts.
That's not going to happen.
No,
that's not going to happen. It's kind of verboten. You don't do that because people do the legwork, and the legwork's the hard thing to gain those contacts. And Correct. When you have them, you protect them. You protect them with everything you've got. So anyway, but no, I think that Sean can call. Sean would have at his beck and call a long list of people to fill positions. Now, can you fill Vance Joseph's position with someone as immediately successful as Vance has been? That's probably a bit of a challenge because you've got to repurpose the relationships in the locker room with the coordinator, right? And that takes time to do. You don't just come in and it's like, oh, this guy's great for us. It takes time to do that. So it is an interesting time, but these are the problems. These are the challenges when you have good football teams. Yep. Other people want your people. That's just the way it is, and you got to deal with it. It's part of the job.
And you know what? Actually, first of all, I couldn't agree with you more. But there is something to be said that even before the season started, people were looking at Vance Joseph as head coach in Canada. And I think that people were looking at Davis Webb to be an offensive coordinator. Despite whatever would have happened with this season. Now, granted, if they went 4-13, I think it would be different.
Yeah, of course.
But they were already being mentioned as Webb was already being mentioned as a future head coach. Vance Joseph has been mentioned for years as a head coach for a second go around, but they've had the success now to back it up. With that, let's dig into Wild Card Weekend. We're going to start it off with the AFC just for this reason alone. Bills and Jaguars on Sunday at 11 a.m. Chargers at Patriots on Sunday at 6 p.m. Texans against the Steelers in Pittsburgh Monday night at 6:15. Let's just start it with this. Who's the best matchup for the Broncos? And who's the worst matchup for the Broncos?
The best matchup is the Steelers, and I don't think it's even close. The Steelers are mid-20s in virtually both offensive and defensive metrics.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. So to me, that one is that's an easy one. Having said that, they've won 10 games. You don't sleep on Aaron Rodgers. They've got playoff pedigree and things of that nature. But in terms of if you're just going to ask who's the best matchup for them, I think it's clearly the Steelers. We've already seen the Jaguars, so we know that is a difficult matchup for them. Amongst the four that they could play this weekend, I will stick with the Bills. I think the Bills are the toughest of the four teams that they could play in the divisional round. Even though I have great respect for Houston, I really do. I think that Buffalo has much more offense.
No, you're being blinded by the light. Bills. You are being blinded by the.
Well, that's fine.
Well, let me just finish with this. Again, I covered the Bills. I still know people in the media with the Bills, and I have friends who are Bills fans, and I have family that are Bills fans.
Yeah.
You are being blinded by the light, and it's a red hot light that is Josh Allen. Ask any Bills fan, ask anybody in the Bills Mafia who has jumped off a ladder and crushed a table. Okay? They're not going to tell you this because they have a concussion. They're saying this after slamming into the table. This might be the worst team that Josh Allen has been on in years.
That's not the question. The question was, who's the most dangerous team coming in?
The Bills are not a dangerous team.
So who is?
Well, hold on. The Bills are not a dangerous team. Josh Allen is a dangerous quarterback.
Well,
this is the Bills' worst roster, top to bottom. It's everyone is afraid of Josh Allen, and rightfully so. When you look at his playoff losses, he's been terrific in the majority of those games. The problem is he's had to face Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Now that road has been paved with those three guys under the tar. Okay. Now it looks like Josh Allen doesn't have to deal with that trifecta. All he has to do is deal with who the hell's Drake May? One season. Who the hell have the Patriots played? Right. Look at the Broncos. Look at their offense. It's really not that great, but their defense is fantastic. Sure. Trevor Lawrence, I thought this guy was a bust. But wait a minute. Now Jacksonville looks like a team. Right? Because it's all about the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, and by the way, for as great as the Broncos have been in the fourth quarter this season, Josh Allen has been just as good. I mean, if I said to you, and I know the answer to this, who is their most dangerous pass-catching weapon? The Bills. I'll tell you.
Knox.
What's that?
Knox.
Dalton Kincaid. Is this guy going to be healthy?
Yeah.
When he doesn't play, the Bills, I think, score about 20-plus points a game. When he does play, they score about 30. Dalton Kincaid is a really nice tight end. He is their best and most important pass catcher. This isn't like they have Stephon Diggs anymore. Okay? I mean, are you really afraid of Shakir? Are you really afraid of –
I'm not afraid of anyone. But I know there are 4 teams that the Broncos we're talking about 4 teams here. We've eliminated Pittsburgh as the –
Yes.
So you're left with the Bills,
yep,
the Texans, and who's the
Chargers, Patriots,
and the Chargers, not the Patriots, because you won't play the Patriots in the divisional round.
Correct. Right.
So it's the Chargers, the Bills, the Texans, and the Steelers. For me, the Bills is the most tough, because the Bills are also battle tested. I don't disagree. You're right. They don't have as good a roster as they've had, but that doesn't mean that they still, amongst those other 3 teams, it would either be Houston or the Bills. In my opinion, Houston or the Bills. I'm going to give the Bills have at least been there, and Josh Allen is an MVP. And you're right. The red hot light is Josh Allen.
Yep.
That can be a pretty hot light.
Yep. And they've got and they have arguably one of the top 5 running backs in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's not much.
Yeah.
It's just not much. I mean, whose roster is better top to bottom, the Texans or the Bills? The Texans. They have a better roster.
Yeah.
They have better wide receivers, and they have a hell of a lot better defense.
Yeah.
And when you say better defense, you're talking about 11 guys.
Yeah.
The Bills don't have that type of defense. And Jacksonville is really balanced. They're balanced on offense, throwing and receiving, throwing and running, and their defense is actually pretty good as well. The best rosters are the Bills are not there.
So do you just ignore the fact that the Bills are the 7th best defense in the NFL? Statistically, I mean, that just doesn't weigh on you.
I've watched enough games. I don't listen. When you look at the Broncos,
I'm just asking.
I've watched the Bills enough to say, no, I am not afraid of their defense at all.
Right.
I'm just not. I don't care what the stats say. Again, there was a time where the Broncos had a top 10 offense. Did the Broncos, and you and I talked about this a lot.
Right.
Did the stats really suggest they have a top 10 offense? Yeah, in the fourth quarter. They got a great offense in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, you play 4.
If the Texans defense that showed up last week shows up, the Broncos will win that game.
Right.
I mean, they gave up 30 points.
Real quick, let's make some picks. Bills against Jaguars. Who are you taking?
Jags.
Me too. Chargers, Patriots.
I'm not as quick on this one. I will take the Patriots, but I think that the Chargers have a chance to win this game.
I think they do too. I think their defense is just terrific.
Yeah.
The question is, can the Chargers protect Justin Herbert?
Yeah, well, that's a pretty legitimate question. You're absolutely right. And that's probably why at home I'll give the Patriots the nod, but this one to me is a little bit more interesting.
Let's go to the NFC. Rams, Panthers.
Rams.
That's the game that I'm for sure betting on.
Yes. Yeah,
and taking all kinds of prop bets with Nakua and Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. I mean, that's where I will load up. Yeah. Of course, how many times have we seen a team that you can make the case shouldn't be in the playoffs happen to have a home game and win? Yeah.
And they've beaten the Rams in the last, 4 weeks. I mean, so not necessarily that's a necessary precursor of things to come. We'll have to wait and see. But I think the Rams are the dangerous team to find, to pick themselves back up. There was a time not too long ago where I think most people were thinking the Rams were the team to beat in the NFC.
Yeah.
And I still think that they could be the team to beat in the NFC, but the Seahawks have earned that spot.
The Rams have stumbled down the stretch without Devontae Adams.
Exactly.
I mean, even if the Broncos played the Rams Oh my goodness. They roll out 3 tight ends all the time.
Yeah.
All of them can catch.
Yeah.
And then you have Nakua, and then you have Matthew Stafford. All right. And then you have Devontae Adams. And to me, the best running back tandems in the league belong to New England and the Rams.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the Rams are so intriguing because of the completeness of their roster, and they've got guys.
Right.
Not just on offense, but they're really good defensively too. And that's why Chris Shula is getting a lot of run for jobs out there too. So yeah, it'll be fun. I can see a path to Rams Seahawks again.
Right. Now, to me, the 2 most appetizing matchups of Wild Card Weekend are both in the NFC. Let's start with the Packers against the Bears.
Yeah, it is. You like the that's a great rivalry game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than Packers and Bears.
Right.
And the Bears are still the Packers have leaked so much oil down the season stretch,
right.
But we still I read a lot about the Bears. That's my wife's favorite team. So we have to pay attention to the Bears in our household, whether I care to or not.
Right.
But it's remarkable how much prove it to the Bears, even amongst their own people, they're still dealing with right
Bruce, now. There is a striking similarity between the Bears and the Broncos. Yeah, know what you did in the regular season, but
I'm with you.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you, and it's remarkable. I mean, it's a tough lot in Chicago, and it is a tough lot in Chicago. I mean, that's what Chicago's all about, for God's sakes. What I like about the city.
Well, listen, Bruce, I can tell you one thing. If the Chicago Bears can bring back Mike Ditka and Walter Payton, I'm feeling really good about the Bears beating the Packers.
I think that even with the Packers stripped down, that's still a dangerous football team. I'm not so sure that
they have the experience.
Yes, they do.
They have the experience.
Yeah.
The question is, do they have the horses? The other game we haven't talked about, 49ers, great offense, right?
Yeah.
Against the Eagles.
Great game.
And the Eagles are now, in some ways, the Kansas City Chiefs. Are you really going to pick against these guys?
Are you really going to pick against them at home?
Jalen Hurts, I know, throws for an average of like 73 yards a game. I know Antonio. I know that, Brown is always upset he's not getting the ball enough. Where the hell has Saquon Barkley been? The Eagles defense, but it's hard to pick against them.
It is hard to pick against them, and I don't think that I would.
Right.
I think I probably would take the Eagles in that game. I mean, I can see the 49ers being an issue, being a problem. But
defensively, they are just terrible.
Yeah,
they're injured too.
Yeah, they are. They're beat up. So is the NFC a little bit more chalky to you then?
No, because I think it's outside of the Rams in Carolina, and I watch the Panthers will win.
Right. Yeah.
But Bears against the Packers. The Packers have experience. Jordan Love has experience. Matt LaFleur has experience. Ben Johnson has experience as an offensive coordinator with the Lions, but not being a head coach. And then you have 2 Titans right now in the NFL as head coaches with the Eagles and the 49ers, Sirianni and Shanahan. And, oh, by the way, how many times recently have we seen those teams play in the playoffs? If Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt in a playoff game, what was it, a couple of years ago, whenever it was, 49ers, I think, probably win.
Yeah, you're probably right. Absolutely. Love it. I mean, wild card weekend. And on top of it, you get Indiana and Oregon tonight. So there's, for you pro fans, that's your appetizer, because a lot of those guys are going to be playing on Sunday,
right?
And pretty soon on Sunday. And then Saturday and Sunday is just unbelievable. I can't wait. I mean, it's going to be a phenomenal couple of days.
Again, not trying to be self-indulgent here, because I went to Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Curt Cignetti is the Bobby Knight of Indiana football. And let me explain why. For starters, Bob Knight was all about discipline and playing together as a team and not making unforced errors. That's how he coached. I covered Bob Knight. Trust me. I sat through enough of his press conferences.
Yeah.
That's what he preached. Be smart with the basketball. Be a great teammate. Be disciplined. That is Indiana. Indiana forces turnovers. And I said at the beginning of this is why I like the matchup with Miami. Although I think Miami can Miami beat Indiana? There's no question in my mind.
Yeah, they can.
They can beat Indiana.
Yep, I agree.
But Indiana is so fundamentally sound. They don't turn the ball over. I think they have fumbled. I think the only time they fumbled this year, and I could be wrong on this, was the 18th play of the season this year. They haven't fumbled since.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't take feel-good penalties like we saw with Miami.
Yep.
Multiple times yesterday.
Multiple. Yeah. Okay.
They don't take penalties. They don't hurt themselves. They're very robotic. Mm-hmm. And they are Mike Tyson in this sense. They just keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And they put you in a corner. But Bob Knight and Curt Cignetti are the same guy. Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, here's the best example that I can give you. Bob Knight was not a guy who recruited five-star talent.
No.
He wanted team guys. I mean, Bob Knight famously told Charles Barkley, I don't want you on the Olympic team. Why? I want team guys. I don't want guys who want stats. And when you look at Indiana's roster, no five-star recruits in the history of the program, 7 4-star recruits, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
3-star. Mendoza was a 2-star guy.
Yeah.
But now with Mark Cuban's money and John Mellencamp's money, they have plenty of money to spend on NIL. And looking at what they just picked up in the transfer portal, goodness gravy. I can't even imagine what this team's going to look like next year.
Yeah, Indiana is in a short time game. They're built for the long run. It's interesting. Yeah, Indiana is going to be around. They're not going anywhere.
Right.
They're not going anywhere. So.
And by the way, let's not conflate NIL with Indiana, because Cuban didn't write a check until recently, after having to see 2 seasons. Indiana has $13 million for NIL, but that was for this season, not his first season, when he went 11-2 with Indiana. Yeah. And by the way, those 2 losses came against the 2 teams that played for the national title last year.
Exactly. Right.
Right. So, with that, we got to hit a break. Coming up after the break, I want to do some grades of some specific Broncos players, because the next time that we talk, we are going to be into game week. So let's wrap up the regular season. Let's grade Nix, RJ Harvey, maybe Troy Franklin, Riley Moss, and who have been the most impactful rookies. That's next. Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of January 9th. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, great promotions, delicious food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. And don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corn bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
And welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 5-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
As the Broncos get ready for the division playoffs, I think now is the perfect time to hand out some grades to players. I picked guys who you can go either way on. That's why I'm curious to know what you would give them a grade on for the season. Let's start with Bo Nix. What grade would you give him for the season?
I would probably start right around B.
Good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because I want to split that up. How would you grade him in the fourth quarter?
A.
How would you grade him quarters 1 through 3? C.
C. Yeah.
That's how you come up with the B.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And I mean, and then if you're tweaking, now B for me is with honors, right? So, I mean, it's not an A. It's not even an A- or a B+. It's a B, but it's good enough for honors. And when you stop to consider, 11-2 in 1-score games, the fourth quarter comebacks, things of that nature, you could make an argument for him to inch up a little bit, but I'm comfortable with a B, and I think that's a pretty damn good grade for the kid in his second year as the quarterback for this football team.
And I am more excited to see him next year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But
yes.
I mean, I'm with you, but I feel you. Next year, you're really counting on the best of Sean and Bo together.
Right.
I totally get you.
RJ Harvey.
I think RJ Harvey.
So let me split this up for you. You have a guy that averaged 3 yards per carry between the tackles, yet he scored double-digit touchdowns when you combine rushing and receiving. And that's what I mean by you can go high with him because he's a rookie or say, boy, this guy certainly has potential and it flashed, but he's got a lot to work on specifically with his vision between the tackles.
Now,
which has gotten better.
Yeah. And we are doing each player individually. I'm not saying that a B for instance, for Bo Nix would be the same for a B for RJ Harvey, because everything is relative. You're talking about a player in his first year, a player that wasn't expected to handle all of the workload in the running back room, things of that nature. But I think I probably would go B minus.
That's exactly where I was going to go as well. Troy Franklin.
I think Troy Franklin.
See? Because listen, I'm not going to pick Nick Benito or Zach Allen or Garrett Bowles. That's a slam dunk that most people are going to be in the same range. I'm picking guys where you can go either way.
I think that Troy Franklin really, again, unto himself, is probably a B minus.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a guy with nearly 800 yards of receiving. So he's made great progress in that regard.
Yeah.
Still drops too many balls for me. That's an issue with this receiving room, frankly.
Yeah.
But I would give him probably a B minus. But boy, there's been games where he's looked like a B plus, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I guess if you pushed me a little bit, I could get him into the B range, but I'll go with B minus. Too many drops.
This might be the most difficult grade to hand out. Riley Moss.
It is a tough one.
You know what? I'm asking the right questions because everyone you have to think.
Yeah.
If I said, Hufanga, you'd probably give me a snap answer. Brandon Jones, Pat Surtain, DJ Jones, JFM. All of these guys have played at a high level for most of the year. The guys that I've mentioned have been up and down.
There are things about Riley Moss that I love.
Me too.
Dog, competitiveness, never backs down.
Right.
Always there for the next play. Available. He plays all the time.
Short memory.
Never lets anything affect him.
Nope.
I'll go. Did he do enough late in the season to get me to a B minus for him? Probably.
Yeah.
He was in the C range pretty much for a good portion of the season, and there were a couple of games where it was like, "Come on, dude, stop it." You're getting flagged, and I do think that they were laying in wait for him a little bit. Quite frankly,
yeah.
I think officials were, but I think I just love this guy so much.
Yeah.
And not just his competitiveness, he does have a skill set.
Yeah.
He's got a skill set.
Yep.
But I think when you factor in the season in totality, I will give him a B minus.
Give me the one guy on the roster that you were like, I had high expectations for this guy, but boy, we didn't see it. And it doesn't mean we won't see it. But this season, I thought this guy would contribute more. You want me to go first?
Well,
want me to go first so you can think about it?
Are you going with Evan Engram? Because I thought Evan Engram actually contributed. You got to be called on, and he wasn't called on as much early on in the season.
That's not my pick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jahdae Barron. The guy, he didn't make really an impact at all. Now, when you look at Surtain and Moss and Jaquan McMillan, I think a guy that they were looking in theory to replace with Jahdae Barron. That's one reason why they drafted him.
Yeah.
He was the best player on the board at the time. At least that's what they believe. Okay. But Jaquan McMillan has made some big plays this year.
Yeah.
And he always seems to make big plays. But Jahdae Barron, listen, his future is in front of him. If we're going to judge Jahdae Barron on his rookie season, then Garrett Bowles would not be on this roster.
Interesting. He played, I'd have to go back and look at his snaps, his number of snaps. He did play a lot of different positions.
Yeah.
I will say this, I'm pretty bullish on Jahdae Barron.
Yeah.
But I can see where you're coming from. I wouldn't push back on that.
Okay, and I'll give you one. I'll give you one more quick little topic, because we don't have the exact date. At least I don't have it on when this is going to happen. But usually they announce the All-Pro team around mid-January, and by the time we hit Monday, it's going to be mid-January, as in January 12th. Give me guys that you believe are going to be All-Pros. First team. Not second team. I think Zach Allen would be a second team guy. I'm talking first team.
I think Garrett Bowles will be a first team All-Pro.
Yep, me too.
I really do. I think Quinn Miners has a very good chance at being a first team All-Pro.
Me too.
I think that
Surtain.
Pat Surtain will be a first team All-Pro, even with the time that he missed.
Yeah.
I think
that to me is it.
I think Benito will be second team.
He will not be first team.
He will not be first team. I think Zach Allen will be second team.
Me too. Look at us agreeing.
Yeah.
This makes for a great podcast. We're just agreeing on everything.
Well, I know, but I mean, there was a time when Benito was there, but I mean, the tenor of the season, and then and teams started scheming to take he and Cooper away from things a little bit. And so, but that's equally effective as well, because you're having other teams really have to spend a lot of time game planning for them. But I think that Benito will be a second teamer.
By the way, on a complete side note, taking a hard right turn, I think the folks at Fox 31 and Channel 2 are absolutely thrilled that you are going to be retiring after the Broncos season is over. And
not as much as I am.
No, they're happier than you are. And here's the reason. And here's the reason why. Because clearly, if you are wearing a winter jacket fully buttoned up, your salary is affecting them paying their heating bill.
I am cold.
So once you are out the door, they can apply that money to at least leaving the heat on to 71 degrees.
Yes, maybe that will happen. It's actually not even that. Well, the office that I'm in, and the bank of windows.
I do.
That I'm right next to.
I do.
And it is hot in the summer.
Yeah.
It is cold in the winter.
Right.
So, I mean, it just is.
Well, I didn't experience it because when I was the sports director, main anchor, I had my own office to your right.
Right. It's right to my right.
And I could close my office door if I wanted to. It was guys like you, my minions, that had to freeze and heat up every day.
Well, I hope I didn't chatter my teeth throughout the podcast.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Hot Takes with Goodman and Haertl. Enjoy the football this weekend. We'll talk to you Monday. Make it the best possible weekend you can.